Good afternoon. I pray that your Thursday was filled with spaces and places of joy, of peace, of happiness, that you found a moment where you could smile, where you could just experience some calm. So today we're talking about overthinking. And the post that I put up earlier is overthinking will not just kill your mind, but it will also kill your heart, your soul, your mood, your magic, and love. Overthinking will not just kill your mind, but it will also kill your heart, your soul, your mood, your magic, and love. I suspect that many of you are like me who can very easily get caught up into overthinking anything. A situation occurs and I'm automatically going in my head and I'm thinking about it. And in many instances, I'm making it bigger than what the situation was. I'm trying to determine the pluses and minuses, the risks, the whatever. I am overthinking and I can do it with even the simplest things. A lot of times I'll purchase something or I'll make a recipe that's new to me and then I'll make it or I'll purchase it. But when it comes to actually tasting it, sometimes I will overthink that thing to the point where I don't even taste it. I have gotten so caught up in my random thoughts and those random thoughts that sometimes can be quite negative. I've gotten so caught up in it, I've convinced myself that I'm not going to like it, and I haven't even tried it. You know, sometimes overthinking sometimes will prevent us from new experiences. It will prevent us from being able to take advantage of all that is being offered in this world. Sometimes overthinking it will prevent us from something that may have been a great experience for us. Sometimes people won't travel because they overthink it. Well, what happens if I get sick? Where am I going to find a doctor or a hospital? They're not focused on all the amazing things they can see when they travel, or the amazing places they can go, or the new cultures they can learn about. Their first thought is, well, just suppose something happened. Now, these are relatively healthy people, not people with pre-existing condition, but people who rarely go to the doctor when they're at home. But all of a sudden now the idea of travel, they are overthinking that thing. So it can prevent us from new experiences. It can prevent us from being able to find joy. Another thing that overthinking does is sometimes, and this is the part that really can be detrimental to relationships. For example, someone says something to you or you have an experience, and in your mind you don't really understand it, but you know that you're feeling some kind of way about it. So as we've talked about before, there's some problems in the communication. But instead of having the conversation with the person to kind of talk it out or to flesh it out or to even be able to use your voice to be able to express your position, you don't have the conversation with the person. You have it in your head and you start overthinking. You start overthinking, well, I wonder what it meant when they said this. And I wonder if because they said this, what it really meant was that. And I wonder, and by the time you finish, you've gotten yourself caught up into this rabbit hole where there's almost no return. When I say almost no return, because when you finally have the conversation with the person and they explain exactly what they meant, you've gotten so caught up in your overthinking that you can't even accept the truth. You won't even, you're not even willing to hear what they have to say because you have overthought that thing just that far. There are some relationships that have been broken. There are some people who are not speaking to each other, who are now side-eyeing each other, all because they overthought something. And it can be as simple as, you make a dish and someone tries it and you say, and they say, oh, this was really good. But what you hear is, compared to what? Is it really good? Are they lying to me? I wonder if they're going to tell somebody this was awful. I wonder if they're going to get sick. And see what I'm saying it? So you start going and you start overthinking what was initially a compliment. You know, it was initially a compliment. So yes, overthinking. There's probably not really a good space for overthinking ever, you know, because once we start doing that, our mind starts to play tricks on us. Our inner insecurity voices start to chime in. Our unhealed wounds start to reoccur. And now we're not just dealing with the situation at hand, we've been triggered to some past stuff. And we now have it all overlaid in the situation. So, my suggestion to you is when you find yourself overthinking, pay attention to that, acknowledge it, and then stop. And you may say, that's easier said than done. No, it's not. If you find yourself caught up into thinking, well, maybe this and maybe that, and maybe they meant this and maybe they meant that, and blah, 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 just stop it. And either recognize, I don't know what they were thinking, so let me ask, or let it go. It's as simple as that. So the bottom line is, if you want to stop overthinking, if you want to stop the challenges that can come from overthinking, from killing your heart, your mood, your soul, your magic, and even being able to be loved and to love. If everything your potential partner says to you, you are overthinking and dissecting, you don't have any room to grow in the relationship with the person. You don't have any room to build trust. So again, if you find yourself overthinking, you know, you may want to ask yourself these two questions. Whatever I'm thinking that I've blown out of proportion, what is the evidence for it? That what I'm thinking is real? And what's the evidence against it? That it's all me in my mind, and that committee in my head that does not want me to have joy, that committee in my head that does not want me to have peace, that committee in my head that wants to keep me stuck. My suggestion to you is when you find yourself overthinking, fire the committee. And you may have to fire them multiple times a day or on a daily basis. But guess what? Eventually, you may only have to fire them once a month, and then maybe once every 3 months, or maybe once every 6 months, because you begin to grow. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And I probably should acknowledge that I said I was going to do a video every day, but yesterday just, whew, it was a doozy and I was not able to do the video. So I beg your apologies, and I am believing that some of you will grant me grace, and for that I am grateful. Talk with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.